Go.
So I planted up this recycled container. It's a plastic crate with a compost bag inside it. It's just got a few holes in the bottom. And I've sowed my seeds directly into there. We had an experiment and we put a lettuce stump there. We put an onion stump there, and as you can see, they've disappeared. My suspect is a squirrel. I think that one's the one that's had it, because he's also comes around and pulls up all my garlic. But I think 1, 2, 3 have survived. And also what happens is the seeds get moved around. So I've got this Moroccan cress, which is like a lettuce crop. I sowed it over here and it's ended up over there. So this is what happens when the squirrels get in. Spring onions haven't come up at all yet, so I've had some failures, but I've had some successes. The leeks have started coming up. I'm going to leave them there because they're not really big enough to transplant yet. But what I am going to transplant is, because this potato's getting too big, it will cover this whole half of the box. So I'll need to transplant all of these. So I'm going to transplant my beans. These are broad beans. And I'm just going to get my trowel in really nice and deep and just wiggle them out. Because the roots are really quite deep. I'm just being ever so gentle. I'm holding it by the stalk, not the leaves. And I'm just easing them out really gently. So we've got one out. Just going to give that a rest there. And we've got 2 out. I'll just get this last little one out. So that potato then, it will be able to take over. I'm going to transplant these seedlings as well. So these are Moroccan cress. There was some peas that I sowed there, but as you can see, I think squirrels are the culprits. They've taken those and eaten them. So these are Moroccan cress. They've come quite close together, so we're just going to separate them really gently. And you can see that's going to come like about this big if we give it enough room. So we're going to take all these over to my other box. This is a deep bed made out of recycled wood. So you can see there's some broad beans already growing here, so I'm just going to put them where they haven't when they haven't grown. So there's some gaps in the planting. So literally just dig a little hole and plop it in and firm it down. I'm leaving a little dip so that when you water it, the water goes straight to the roots. So when I've transplanted all of these, I'm going to give them a nice good soaking, a nice good water, and I'm going to put some string all around, because these will grow quite tall. You can see these ones were sown in February inside, and I transplanted those out about 4 weeks ago, and these were only sown about 4 weeks ago. So you can see these ones have already got flowers on them. So I'm just wrapping it round the sticks. They will eventually get about this high, so they'll need some support. And that's about enough support. Now with the Moroccan cress, as I say, they get about this big, so we're going to give them some room. So I'm just going to plant them a bit deeper as well, give them a little puddle of water to sit in. They're quite fast growing, and you can pick them as little baby leaves and eat them as baby leaves, or you can let them get to be a big full size. So we're just going to water them in. Another thing that I've got is these strawberry runners that somebody gave me. Just been sitting in some water while I've had time to put them in the ground. So we can just pop them in as well. And then what I'll do is I'll give them a nice big watering. So the next thing I'm going to transplant, I will dig out all of them and transplant them into the soil. So I can dig them out in a nice big chunk and just separate them as I'm ready. The next crop along here is coriander. I'm going to leave the coriander to mature because that's quite quick cropping and I can eat them before the potato takes over. You see, this is coriander that I sowed inside. You can't actually see what it is yet. It could be anything. It's only got 2 leaves, but when it starts growing its second set of leaves, you can recognise it. You can also smell it if you disturb it. This is beetroot. They don't like being transplanted, and what people usually do is, because they grow quite close together, because several plants come out of one seed, what people usually do is pull out the weaker ones, like this one, and let the stronger ones grow to a full beetroot. But what I try and do is, if you're going to pull some out anyway, well, what you might as well do is if I go and transplant them, and I have done it successfully. So I'm going to get my scissors or a screwdriver or something in there and just wiggle them out. So I'm going to leave the smaller ones in. I'm just going to put them in a little bit deeper. So as you can see, they've gone quite stringily. So I'm just going to see that one did so close together, so I'm going to leave the little one in the ground and pull the big one out. Holding it by its leaves and just wiggling it out, being really gentle, trying not to disturb it too much. And I'm just going to push the little one into the soil a bit more. Now if they survive underneath the potato, I've not lost anything. I'm just going to ease them apart like that. And then what I'll do, in the ground over there, I will transplant them up to there. So all that will turn into a beetroot, all being well. Yeah. So the leeks, I'm going to leave them in the ground a little bit longer until they get a little bit fatter and a little bit bigger, and then I will transplant them into the ground as well. So this potato will basically have all this to grow in with a few pieces of garlic.